The sport's sponsored by Rapid Radio's Yu Darvish going for the Padres today in Game 1 of their 4-game stretch against the St. Louis Cardinals, who bring in a record of 52-51. Padres stand 3 games up, 55-47. Sonny Gray will be going for the Cardinals. St. Louis currently minus 150 on the money line, and that game will go on at 4:45. Justin Fields had an injury scare today. He was carted off the field. Luckily, it is only possibly a broken toe and not an ACL. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio, get an extra 5% off.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Plenty to get to on the show. We got a couple giveaways. We're sending you out to see Creed. We're sending you out to see Wiz Khalifa. So just keep listening for your chances to win. Obviously, tons of Padres talk today with the trade deadline looming about a week away now. And is Dylan Cease going to be on this team? Is Jake Cronenworth going to be on this team? How many people are they getting back? Is there any new Padres that are going to be showing up in town? The one thing we know is that AJ Preller apparently is in on absolutely everyone dangling on the trade market right now. So we'll get into it over the next couple of hours. You can text the show 70470. Start your message with team. We got some news breaking out of the NFL with a quarterback season already in jeopardy. We're going to get to it all today. But we do need to start with a sad place for the second time this week. Sammy, they say it comes in threes, but with Ozzy's death a little bit earlier this week, the actor who played Theo on the Cosby Show a little bit earlier this week, everyone kind of felt like the next shoe was going to drop. I don't think anyone expected it to be the Hulkster. Hulk Hogan passing away this morning. That is a rough one, especially if you were a wrestling fan growing up in the 80s or the 90s. But I think the Hulkster was different because Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler. He was an absolute pop culture icon, and that's news that hits hard for anybody who grew up with Saturday morning wrestling, Monday Night Raw. Hulk Hogan was wrestling in the early 80s and in the 90s. The Hulk Hogan-Andre fight where he body slammed him in front of 93,000 people. I think that video has been seen millions of times by not just people who were growing up in the 80s and the 90s, but by people like Sammy who grew up in the 2000s. Like Hulk Hogan kind of transcended just wrestling and became that first mega superstar. It's been followed by The Rock and been followed by John Cena. Hulk Hogan was that dude. So rest in peace, brother. Hopefully the next life is pretty good for you, man. But the Hulk Hogan passing away today, hopefully that closes the loop of the three. I don't know if I could do another one, Sammy. This has been a rough week so far.
Yeah, like what's going on? It sucks. Hulk Hogan definitely was.
Rich Ornberger goes on vacation and everybody starts dying. That's what sucks.
Yeah, dude. Where's he at, by the way?
He's on the East Coast visiting a bunch of family. But literally, he loves we described Ozzy Osbourne as the mascot of 101.5 KGB. Like a lot of what that station did for the last 30 years was Ozzy Osbourne. And then Ozzy Osbourne passes away. And Hulk Hogan was the mascot of wrestling and transcended it. So kind of a crazy week, man.
Yeah, bummer. Yeah, obviously Hulk Hogan. It is so cool how he was one of the guys that, one of the the forefathers of wrestling. It made such a big deal and transform. I mean, think of all the careers, like even down at Comic-Con this weekend. John Cena's in Peacemaker and doing all these movies, like to Dwayne Johnson, to John Cena, to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, so many opportunities for guys that came later, transitioning and acting and everything. Sucks, man. It's been a tough week for big celebs. Hopefully, there is no more.
From the Nature Boy, Ric Flair on his X today, I am absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of my close friend Hulk Hogan. Hulk has been by my side since we started in the wrestling business, an incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. He was always there for me, even when I didn't ask for him to be. He was one of the first to visit me when I was in the hospital with a 2% chance of living, and he prayed by my bedside all night. Hulk also lent me money when Reed was sick. Hulkster, no one will ever compare to you. Rest in peace, my friend. I feel like artists, like wrestlers, they are going to be able to have crazy stories about Hulk Hogan, whose life wasn't perfect, by the way. Towards the end, over the last 10 years, obviously, he got really involved in the political world. His relationship with some of his kids unfolded really publicly. I know he got a divorce recently. So Hulk Hogan obviously was not perfect, but I think the entertainment and the happiness that he brought to so many people's lives, nothing sums it up better than that video of Hulk Hogan. This was probably 10 years ago now, with a like 6-year-old kid walking into an autograph signing and impersonating Hulk Hogan and him going back and forth with the kid. Hulk Hogan, one of a kind, the first, like Sammy was saying, in a line of John Cena, The Rock, the wrestlers to switch to mainstream. Hulk Hogan did it better than anyone. All right, we'll get to the Padres coming up in just a little bit. We'll get to the NFL a ton today because we got news flying all over the place. Right now, it's time for the big three. Sammy Long's going to take us through the top stories in the world of short sports. Sammy Long, hit that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
If you want to watch the show, you can. A couple different ways on X at Fletch and Sammy, on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. You can find us there. Would love a subscription, would love a follow, would love a like, all those things. Sammy, where are we starting?
All right, so the Padres are ranked number 11, up from 13 in ESPN's new power rankings. We feel like that's, or I'll read the teams in front of them real quick. Milwaukee's number 1, Chicago's 2, Detroit's 3, Dodgers 4, Blue Jays 5, Phillies 6, Astros 7, Mets 8, Yankees 9, Seattle 10. And they're right in front of Boston, who's been one of the hottest teams in baseball at 12. Do you think that's fair or no?
Sounds about right to me. Well, the Padres have been at such a weird season where it's like they're doing great and then they're doing not great and their record's really good, but the team you're watching isn't good. It's been confusing. I'm curious to see if Preller has the right ingredients at the trade deadline to make this to where it's a more consistently really, really good team. Give me that 14-3 team back, or even just a shade of that. Right now, the Padres are, it feels like standing pat. They're in a holding pattern of their season. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if this next series against the Cardinals is 2 games to 2 games, because it kind of feels like that's what the Padres have been ever since the 14-3 start. Obviously, changes need to be made. I think changes are coming over the next week, and we'll see how the rest of this season goes. But right there in the middle of the pack, that feels about right to me.
This is a massive weekend for the Padres because you really blundered against Miami. And I know that they're hot, 8 of 11, but still, you're not supposed to be losing to Miami on the road. If you drop 1 game, that's one thing. Losing 2 in the span of 24 hours is not acceptable. Now you got a real Cardinals team. Now you got your work cut out for you because we know this team has struggled against upper tier competition. This is the first crack at the second half of the season to see if that's kind of a fluke from the first half. Maybe if it's kind of due to injuries, or if this team legit can't beat upper tier competition and benefited off the fact that they had a pretty soft schedule to start the year, playing the Braves and things like that, teams that we thought were going to be better than they have been. So Cardinals, really, really big series, 4-game stretch. I mean, you could bury the Cardinals over the next 4 days. We could come in on Monday and we're talking about how they're not even in the picture anymore, or we could be talking about how they jumped the Padres and there's another team you got to worry about. The one thing the Padres have going for them is the fact that they have had a lot of success against the Giants. They're 4-2 right now, I believe, against the Giants so far. Now, they've had some changes since then. Rafael Devers is there. But still, they're not a perfect team, and it is nice that they have some tiebreakers heading down the stretch here in the Diamondbacks. It's a close series there. I believe the Diamondbacks have a 1-game edge. So really important. You're going to play the Mets after. You're going to play the Cardinals again. No time to BS for the Padres. And I think it really does determine. Kevin Acee keeps saying on John and Jim and our show about how they decided they're buyers. We're going to play some sound later from John Morosi about Dylan Cease that I don't know that that's totally decided. I know Kevin Acee's more in tap with the Padres than I am, but I think if they crap the bed over the next week, they're sellers. If they have a great next week, I think there's a real juice to adding to this team, thinking that they could go far. But the record above 500 is very telling, and it's hard to make a real run in the playoffs if you can't beat the teams that you're going to be playing.
Good one, Sammy. What's next?
Justin Fields avoided a massive injury today. Got carted off the field in Jets training camp. People thought that he ripped his ACL or something. It is just possibly a sprain or broken toe, which could be out for a while. But in that division, a lot of people have named Justin Fields as this year's Sam Darnold, the kind of breakout player that no one saw coming. Who do you think is this year's Sam Darnold?
Well, on Justin Fields for just a second, the internet undefeated right away. They put up the video of Aaron Rodgers running out onto the field with the New York Jets and said, damn, Justin Fields isn't even going to last this long, because Aaron Rodgers ruptured his Achilles 5 minutes after that video took place. But if we're talking about who is going to be the next Sam Darnold, I thought it was Justin Fields when we had this conversation, a month ago? Maybe not even. Justin Fields was my pick. I still think he can be. It's going to depend on which toe is dislocated, really, if you look at it, because the big toe could be a big problem if that's dislocated, and then we're talking weeks and weeks and weeks. If it's like a pinky toe, who cares? Just chop it off. But Justin Fields still has that opportunity in a division like the AFC East that obviously is tough, but he could sort of come out of nowhere and be great for them. I think another name would be not Jaden Daniels. That wouldn't make sense, but a Drake May, if he comes out and is an absolute stud this year. But Kyler Murray would be the next best fit for the Sam Darnold description, where he's kind of been around for a little bit, hasn't had that year. Kyler Murray could have that year this year.
Yeah, I was about to say Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a guy that has had a really weird career, and because he was like the guy. Remember, he was going to be a top 10 pick in baseball. He said no. He went to Oklahoma. Everyone thought that he wasn't going to be able to go to the NFL because of how small he was. Ends up being the number 1 overall pick after the Cardinals drafted Josh Rosen. Then is pretty good. Has some moments there when DeAndre Hopkins got traded there, and it kind of felt like the Cardinals were on the uptick. Then they got smashed by the Rams in that playoff game, and they've never really been the same since. Last year, they did show a lot of development. They draft Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride's one of the most exciting young tight ends in football. This is an interesting year because if the Cardinals are terrible and picking at the top of the class, at some point you got to start talking about the Cardinals getting a quarterback. But if Kyler Murray kind of has a breakout season, which I think he will, he could get back on top. How about the next Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold? I mean, everyone is.
Hey, I don't hate that.
Throwing Sam Darnold to the Wolves, kind of like let's not forget. No, was he good against the Lions in the last game of the season? No. Was he good against the Rams in that Arizona weird playoff game? No. But this is a guy who was in the MVP conversation 2 weeks before when he blasted the Packers at home from Minnesota to set up that matchup against the Lions. I think people are really out on him. The Seahawks aren't some great team, but they do have a young defense. They got a lot of young, talented receivers. So I feel like people are kind of just writing off Sam Darnold because of those 2 games, and I feel like that's a little unfair.
And every prediction I've seen has Seattle coming in 4th in that NFC West. I don't really see that. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a problem. That dude is a stud wide receiver. And then the running back room, Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny, that's a great running back room. Seattle's not going to be bad this year.
That's an interesting division. There's not really a bad
there is no bad team.
Seattle's probably coming in 4th if I had my money on it, but that even them I could see surprising people at the end of the year.
Yeah, things get wacky, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up on the other side, let's talk Padres. We got some sound from John Paul Morosi, MLB Network's baseball insider. He's telling you what the Padres are doing at the trade deadline. Listen for that coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances from Bryan Adams, Mariah Carey, Sammy Hagar, The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. September 19th and 20th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets now at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. 619 texting in saying nobody's perfect, but Hulk Hogan was the greatest wrestler of all time. 760, hey Fletch, Rashad Penny retired. Did I say Rashad Penny? I meant to say Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA, who I do think is a stud and poised for a
Penny
breakout.
didn't have a bigger career, like from San Diego State.
Injuries, dude.
Yeah, there was a minute there where he was like legit for Seattle.
It's if you look at Rashad Penny's numbers from games he actually played in, his yards per attempt were out of this world. He was really good. And remember, there was a 2 or 3 game stretch, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where he was putting up like 160 yards a game,
a couple touchdowns. End of the year. It was like in December.
Yeah, but it is a bummer. Rashad Penny didn't have a better NFL career, one of the best college careers from a running back ever, and that's not even hyperbole. He was awesome. Steve Hartman talks about it all the time, how Rashad Penny got his Heisman vote, but didn't win it. I can't remember who won that year. Do you remember the year Rashad Penny was that
year? But yeah, the Heisman vote. Well, we should ask Hartman on what it means to have a Heisman vote. But
Sammy, did you know I have a Heisman vote? I think Schaefer has one now too.
He does.
I think so.
Who did he vote for last year? Did we know?
I don't.
He's a Mountain West guy. I bet he went JT.
He probably went JT. And I honestly, JT probably deserved it. Sammy's gonna be like, no, Travis Hunter, dude. I probably would
have gone Travis Hunter.
John may have voted that way too. I don't know, but Ashton JT was definitely the best running back and maybe most impactful player last year, I would say, and actually, got his team to a college football playoff. Travis Hunter.
I'm not here to defend Colorado. I don't care for Colorado. I'm just saying, if you're talking about the best player in college football, I probably would have went Travis Hunter.
Yeah, you're just a big time Colorado fan. I get that. It's okay.
Fight on.
Yeah,
go Aztecs.
All right, let's get to some John Paul Morosi sound. If you don't know who he is, JP is a MLB insider for the MLB Network. He also has a bunch of ties here in San Diego. He's a huge hockey fan out of nowhere. But John Paul Morosi was talking on the MLB Network this morning about the Padres' plans at the trade deadline. This is about a minute and a half of JP Morosi. Let's take a listen.
Yes, and that's the news that Dylan Cease's name has come up in conversations. Buster Olney first to report that. The overarching story for the Padres is this. As one Padres-connected person told me last night, AJ is talking to everyone. And that, of course, refers to AJ Preller, their president of baseball operations, and indicates to me the Padres are open-minded to buy and sell. And that scenario could look like this. You trade this man, Dylan Cease, who admittedly his ERA is up a run higher than it was in 2024. Perhaps you trade Cease, who has an expiring contract, to replenish some of your minor league depth, and then use that new prospect depth to go out there and make a package for Sandy Alcantara. And Dennis Lynn has reported on that potentially with the Athletic. So maybe you see a Sandy Alcantara trade coming in because Alcantara is not eligible for free agency until after 2026. Maybe he comes in. Stephen Kwan's a possibility, and John Heyman's reported on that. I think you're starting to see the thought process for AJ Preller. It's a bubble team. I think they're more buyer than seller. But if you sell Dylan Cease and bring back some prospects, you're able to strengthen your roster for the long term and look at the next week of buying as the first salvo of your offseason spending for 25-26. So again, to recap, you might see Dylan Cease going out, but you might also see a Sandy Alcantara or Stephen Kwan coming in.
So is that okay? My thing with that, I agree with what Morosi's saying about how
he's buying while selling.
Because if we talk about how the Padres, the constant theme has been they don't really have anyone to trade. Like unless you're trading a big fish, which it doesn't seem like they want to do in terms of if you count Dylan Cease a big fish. But I'm talking about you're not trading Fernando, you're not trading Jackson Merrill, someone like that, where you get a haul of prospects to add to the team, because after the Soto deal, you don't have a plethora of a farm system to just go attack from. And it sounds like, Salas and DeVries are untouchable. So The problem is if you just work around the edges, you're gonna have the same problem next year. So to his point about Dylan Cease, if you trade him, you get a haul of prospects. Then going into next year's trade deadline, no one cares about next year. They want to win this year, but you're not sitting here for the same year talking about the same conversation every year.
No, JP Morosi is saying you trade for a bunch of prospects right now, and you immediately turn and flip those prospects, trying to bring in a Sandy Alcantara. Even though JP Morosi says it much cooler than I say.
But does Sandy Alcantara do anything for you after getting rid of Dylan Cease? I mean, I know this guy made the Padres not be able to hit.
Well, he's talking because Sandy Alcantara still has a couple years of control left.
Yes, but this is a guy who has a over 7 ERA heading into the Padre game. So
I'd
even
agree
though
with
he
you.
was a superstar a few years ago, does that count as buying if you get rid of Dylan Cease but add Sandy Alcantara? Steven Kwan would be a fantastic ad, I think. That would be a guy that you could sit there. I mean, he hit 2 homers the other day that you sit there and go, wow, that's a big ad at the back of the lineup. But Cease is a lot of suitors. But then the problem is, are you gonna trade him? Like I saw a report about how Buster Olney, the Mets are interested, the Cubs. I mean, you're gonna trade him in the NL. So if you make the playoffs, you're gonna play the Mets and play Dylan Cease.
It's tricky, man. You're gonna move Cease. I think at this point there's enough smoke around that to where we could say there's fire. But it's what are you doing with those prospects when you get them back? Are you taking them and immediately turning them around? Are you taking them and waiting till next year?
What would you do?
I would turn them around immediately. I would add to this team. Not because I think that's the best thing for the Padres long term, but I think you owe it to the fans to try to go get a freaking World Series right now. Look, you've bought a lot of loyalty with this fan base. We don't know what this ownership is going to do. This ownership group is going to do over the next 5 years. I got a feeling it's not going to be very pretty. So right now, while you still at least have a chance of competing, and they absolutely do, you get this team into the postseason, they have a chance at competing for a World Series. You got to take that chance immediately.
But we hear the owe it to the fans. It almost would be better to the fans.
But here's the thing, Sammy. We don't know what's coming in the next 5 years. Money is going to continue to get slashed. So if the ownership knows that right now, and if this is your last best chance, you better go after it right now.
Yeah, but getting us to a prospects, that's probably what if you're a cheap franchise and organization, which the Padres haven't been under Peter Seidler.
They're going back to it.
And if they're going back to it, which it all signs point to, considering they weren't really, throwing the money around the blackjack table when it came to free agency. The pipeline of prospects is how you develop that. So the only way to get that back, like, do you want to lose Dylan Cease?
But how many more years of greatness from Manny Machado are you expecting? Because there's a lot of years on his contract. How many of those is he actually at this level where he's an all-star, where he is the best third baseman in baseball, where he's hitting at an all-star rate? Like, I don't know how many more years you're getting of that. Xander Bogaerts, look, the ship has sailed. He's actually playing a little better right now. We're okay with that. But how many more years of Xander Bogaerts being serviceable do you have? The answer is not very many.
Not very well. Xander, yeah, he's been good right now. But
so you might as well just empty it out right now. Try with this group, and if this fails, then maybe.
But ownership's not going to spend the offseason. So what's going to really hurt is if the Padres don't go win a World Series and they keep Dylan Cease, they lose him because it doesn't seem like Dylan Cease is probably going to be back as a Padre if you keep him till next year. And then we're sitting there going about how Dylan Cease goes and signs with the Mets or the Cubs or one of these teams, and you got nothing back. When at the deadline, teams who are desperate who think they have a shot.
Well, Sandy Alcantara is getting something back. You got him for a couple of years.
Well, that's if you flipped it back for him.
And it sounds like that's probably what they're going to do.
I mean, the Marlins aren't going to take Cease for Alcantara straight up. That's going to be. I mean, is getting prospects for Cease and then flipping it for Sandy Alcantara that big of an upgrade, or
depends on how many of the prospects you get to keep in the process? Like, what's Dylan Cease going to go for? Is it 4 guys?
I think Cease would go for a lot, actually. Even though his ERA is 4.57 this year, it's up a whole run. He's a name brand pitcher. People know you can sell that to fans. People, if the Mets were to acquire him tomorrow, New York would be excited.
What would a package of Cease and Cronenworth go for? Because that's the other name we keep hearing floated out there. So if you put both of them together, you get a ton of prospects where you could keep half of them and ship another half of them off. Like, there is a world where both these things could be happening at the same time. And I think that's what JP Morosi was talking about, where they are buying by way of selling. I don't think that's a terrible idea.
This goes back to what I said earlier about how I think the next week is determining if whether buyers sell. We're hearing that they're buyers. We're hearing the signs point to it. Of course, you don't want to sell. You don't want to tell your team through the media, hey, we're thinking about selling the team right now. That doesn't buy a lot of confidence when you're going in a tough stretch. But if they come out of this over the weekend and not playing good baseball, and then you got the Mets, I mean, you're playing wildcard team after wildcard team, and then you got Boston, who's not in the NL but a very solid team. I mean, this is a really crucial week, and we're going to see if they're legit contenders or they're just a team that, hey, if they get in, they have a chance. That's a lot of other teams can say that.
There's a Yahoo article out right now, and again, it's trade deadline time, so this is Liar's Poker at its finest. But it says, and I'll read straight from it: it's not just players they're looking to add. The Padres are also listening to offers for not just Dylan Cease and Jay Cronenworth, but Robert Suarez, Michael King, and Luis Ariz. Read into that as much as you'd like to.
That would get a lot.
That's on Yahoo Sports right now. I think that is the Sammy's break glass in case of emergency. Like they get swept by the Cardinals right now and the Dodgers go on a winning streak. That might be in the cards.
I know we're getting a break, but there was that report a month ago that we talked about with Kevin Acee. It kind of went to the wayside because I'm talking about Cronenworth and Cease, about how Morejon or Suarez could be on the move because of contract situations and could you afford it? Now, Suarez, he's been one of the best closers in baseball all season. If he was available on the market, I mean, you could absolutely fleece a team for prospects.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Now, it sucked for this season. Obviously, you're not thinking you're going to go win a World Series if you trade him. But in terms of restoring the pipeline, that would be a big move. All
right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll get back to the Padres in a little bit. If you want to light up the text line, 70470, start your message with team. What would you like to see the Padres do? We will read those as well. Coming up next, we got news out of the NFL. We got a quarterback who is potentially in danger of missing the season. We got a lot going on. Let's get to it on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. Live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Visit them online today at mountaintrustmortgage.com or give them a call at 858-376-1299. Gary Cooper is here today. And Gary, I wanted to ask you about a phrase you threw out a couple weeks ago. It's exact rate. What does that mean within the home buying or refinancing process?
I know that's something I never really talk about except for when I'm in front of my customers. So this might be good for your listeners. I have the ability to lock in not only your interest rate, but also your term at an exact rate and term, meaning that you don't have to go back to a 30-year if you've already paid 3 or 4 years into your loan. So I can refinance, you can take cash out, pay off debt, whatever you need to do, and I can put you on a 26-year term, a 27-year term, and that goes for the interest rate too. So I can customize your circumstance specifically to what your needs are. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to go back to a 30-year term if you don't want to. If you're into it for a 24-year term, I could do a new 24-year term. And the interest rate is going to be exact, meaning that you're not paying any points or additional cost to get that advertised or that gimmick interest rate. So it's all customized.
Get straight mortgage answers by calling Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty today, 858-376-1299, or visit them online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Thank you, Gary.
This sport is sponsored by Rapid Radios. Padres back in action tonight at 4:45, taking on the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis. St. Louis is currently favored by -150 on the money line. Yu Darvish be pitching for the Padres, who brings in a record of 0-2 and a 6.08 ERA, and Sonny Gray, who's 9-4 with a 4.04 ERA, who will be going for the Cards. The over-under has been set at 8.5. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
San Diego Sports 760. Talk some NFL here in a second, but keep in mind, SDFC is back on the pitch tomorrow night. They got Nashville FC at Snapdragon Stadium. You can hear the match live tomorrow night, starting at 7 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760, your home for SDFC. I believe that is number 1 in the East, taking on number 1 in the West. We got a war on the shore here in San Diego,
War
baby.
on the shore. Let's
get after it, boys. Anders Dreyer, that boy's on fire. Let's get it going. Did you see this Dalvin Cook story real quick before we get to the quarterback news? Not Dalvin, James Cook, the Buffalo Bills running back.
What, that he's holding out?
So he is, but he's practicing. It's a soft holdout. Like he's there, so he's avoiding all the fines.
It's a hold in.
Yeah, it's a hold in, exactly. But the quote that he has today in the media, he said, "We've had talks. I mean, I deserve what I want." So if you break that down, I deserve what I want. He obviously wants to get paid and he wants a certain number. But saying that is a funny way. It's not, I want what I deserve. It's, I deserve what I want. I think that's kind of genius.
I'm surprised.
They got to pay him.
Yeah, well, because Buffalo, before they had James Cook, was forever searching for a running back. That was always the thing. That's why they couldn't beat the Chiefs. They didn't have a running game to end the games. James Cook's been phenomenal. In some of those games against the Chiefs, James Cook's been one of the best players on the field. I'm really surprised they're holding out. I get people don't want to pay running backs, but I kind of thought that was changing after Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry had the years they had. But, I mean,
he's so good.
He's fantastic. And at some point, like I'm not wishing for this, but Josh Allen lowering his shoulder into people is going to come back to bite him. And the Bills have been able to kind of lessen the amount he's running until the playoffs because of James Cook. You go back, if you hand the keys to Ray Davis, no disrespect to Ray Davis, but
he was a rookie a year ago, had some really nice time later in the season last year. But I think Ray Davis is going to be part of it. Ty Johnson is part of it in Buffalo. But James Cook just offers you something so different because you remember prime Alvin Kamara, how people would just bounce off him when he was running. I feel like James Cook right now is the best at running through contact in the entire NFL. Better than Saquon, better than McCaffrey. James Cook just has that great balance. It's almost him and Jahmyr Gibbs are probably tied in my mind. But getting tough yardage, James Cooks is the guy. And when you look at what Buffalo wants to do on offense, yeah, Josh Allen has a big arm. They don't want to use it. They want to run the ball. They want to physically dominate.
Well, we've seen in January, it's one thing to have the greatest show on turf in September and October. When this is why I'm like high on the Ravens going this season. And I know they haven't had the playoff success, but they're a tough team to play in January because when Derrick Henry's running at you and Lamar and it wears you down over the game and it's 5 degrees in Kansas City or Baltimore or Buffalo, when it's 0 degrees and it's freezing cold outside, it's coming down sideways. I know Buffalo's used to the cold, but you're not uncorking 60-yard bombs, and that doesn't play into Josh Allen. So what happens? He starts running the ball. I think this is a massive mistake, them not paying him.
I apologize to the text line. I've not read it yet today. We are 41 days, 11 hours, 23 minutes, and 6 seconds away from the start. 41 days. We are a week away exactly from the Hall of Fame game, which is the Chargers and somebody this year.
Lions.
Do you know they're Chargers Lions? No one's going to play in that game. That's important.
I don't care. I'll be watching.
Dan Campbell holds out most of his starters the entire preseason. But that's fun, man. We got football coming back 7 days from today. One other quick story before we get to the quarterback news. Darren Waller, unretired. Have you followed this at all?
I saw something about this.
So the tight end / rapper, he retired at the end of last season. I think he was with the Giants. He retired and he was gone. He unretires, signs back with the Miami Dolphins on July 1st. July 22nd, 2 days ago, he got put on the PUP list. So he was back for a total of 21 days before he got injured once again. I feel bad for Darren Waller. He seems like a good guy, but he gets made fun of so much because he's a terrible rapper. And he tried to put out a music video and he was dating Kelsey Plum. And he seems like a really good guy. And like Max Crosby talks about Darren Waller a lot as somebody
Max
sort of.
Crosby needs to put out a rap video.
Yeah, but he's sort of helped him through his sobriety. Darren Waller had such a tumultuous start to his career, all the talent in the world, but just had drug problems and alcohol problems. But Darren Waller, who that Raiders team that he was on, he was filthy, dude.
Yeah, and there was no one around him either. So, well, I guess Ruggs was still there at the time. So, yeah, that they had kind of a nice young group going up, but it's the Raiders. So
I feel bad for Darren Waller, who's already hurt. 21 days into his
breaking news: Aaron Rodgers' first pass of camp is picked off.
You don't have to say that with a smile.
No, I'm just saying it is.
TD and I were having this conversation this morning about Aaron Rodgers, how we both hope he comes out and has an amazing year. Because both of us are sick of him. Both of us are kind of annoyed by Aaron Rodgers.
Then why do you want him to have a good year?
Because with the amount of people who are like, I hate this guy, he sucks, why is he even here? A lot of Sammy Longs out there. I want him to just shut everybody up. I think it'd be fun if Aaron Rodgers comes out and dominates.
Don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see.
All right, who else? JJ McCarthy had a pick six already in camp. Jackson Dart threw a pick six right away.
It's funny because this is a guy who takes so long to decide where he wants to go. Thinks he's such a big deal still, and then like if he has a bad training camp, be pretty good.
All right, the Justin Fields thing is heartbreaking. So if you missed the news, he limped off the field this morning at training camp. He ended up being carted to the locker room. Aaron Glenn, who's the new head coach of the New York Jets, would not comment on how severe the injury was. The latest news is that he is expected to be okay by week 1. But they got to do more testing and more stuff like that. And the reason I tease this up by saying a season in jeopardy already isn't because of lack of playing time, a lack of training camp time. Like Justin Fields throughout his entire career with Chicago, it was a rotating door of offensive coordinators and offenses and head coaches. With Pittsburgh, he played well for 6 games and then was shown the bench because Russell Wilson had to come in. You had to see what you had. And all of that was probably the right move by Pittsburgh. But still, Justin Fields is a good quarterback. And I feel like he hasn't had a good career yet. This was going to be an opportunity with a new head coach in place in New York, one that we all think at least has his head on his shoulders and isn't an idiot like they've hired in the past, and that the New York Jets could finally maybe give Justin Fields the opportunity to do something we all thought he had all along. Missing training camp and letting Tyrod Taylor get all the reps in training camp is going to hurt Justin Fields.
Well, I think in going back to like the James Cook kind of Bills conversation, that division for so long has been dominated by one team. Like the Patriots got to run through division. They go 5-1 every year because they used to randomly lose to Miami in Miami every year, but they would just kind of run through everybody. And it feels like that division with Buffalo, the Miami hurt last year. You have, if hopefully Justin Fields isn't out for a long time. They think it's a sprained toe, so that wouldn't be too bad. If that
I saw dislocation.
Okay, well, hopefully that's better than a sprained, ACL or something like that. But we'll see. And then Drake May has a lot of potential. Vrabel's there. That's gonna be a tough team to play in New England, but no one thinks that there's some world beaters yet. So the Bills, that's why they're the only team that's favored, I believe, in every game this season according to the sports books. I'm interested to see if they achieve those expectations because last year everyone was out on them and they way overperformed those expectations because everyone thought when they lost Stephon Diggs they were kind of gonna be done and all that, and then they were fantastic. I wonder if this year though, especially if James Cook isn't there, because you got to think that Miami is healthier, even though there's some weird stuff coming out about Tua and Tyreek's relationship. They will have a good offense, and Mike Vrabel, that's gonna be a tough team to play. It does feel like of all the divisions, though, they have the easiest road because the Chiefs have a tough AFC West, the Ravens have the brutal AFC North, and then the AFC South kind of whatever.
Our buddy Rich helping us out on YouTube saying Baker Mayfield was the guy who beat Rashad Penny out for the Heisman, but Penny did get 7 first-place votes that year. Thank you, Rich. Good remembering.
Hell yeah. That was Baker Mayfield's. Yeah,
dude, Baker was filthy in college. Oh, that was fun, man.
Put the flag in Ohio State in the middle.
That might have won him the Heisman just like that. Just the flag planting.
I hated Baker in college, but he was.
I kind of liked him, dude. He brought the juice. I've always liked Baker. I feel like Colin Cowherd tried to poison the entire country against Baker Mayfield for about 5 years, and it worked too.
I got to give Baker Mayfield a lot of credit for resurrecting his career. I had a lot of friends who are from Cleveland.
He's a backwards hat guy.
Randomly, yeah, that was hilarious. Like that matters.
Come on, Colin.
I had a bunch of friends from Cleveland who, when he got drafted for the Browns, were like insufferable for a minute. So I became an avid Baker Mayfield hater. But it is credit. We started to see in the NFL guys turn their careers around. Like Baker Mayfield was kind of left for dead, turned his career around. Sam Darnold completely turned his career around. I mean, we've seen guys over the last few years kind of come in and be starters again.
Dude, just wait till you see what Josh Rosen does this year. I think he's a lawyer now. I don't think he's even remotely close to football. Tim Tebow about to come back and have a blast.
Tebow time.
Colin Kaepernick, get ready for it. Come back to it. He actually is trying to get on an NFL team right now.
What's it been, 8 years?
I think it's been maybe even more than that. Kaepernick's been out a while. And he's in his mid-30s now. He's trying to make a comeback. We'll see. All right. Long shots was close again last night. 2 out of 3.
Dude, we hit the first inning. I was feeling so good.
Was it Max Fried that messed it up yesterday?
Yes.
Who was it?
Glasnow had 12 strikeouts, so I said over 7. Over first inning runs in Boston and Philly. Schwarber and Harper both hit bombs in the first inning off Giolito.
That was number 350 for Bryce Harper. Congratulations.
Dude, Max Fried, absolutely. He got 0-2 counts like 5 different times and could not finish it off.
All right. Well, maybe today is a new day here on San Diego Sports 760. Also, coming up next, Wiz Khalifa tickets on the line right after Long Shots live on the iHeartRadio app. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 right now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates do apply. Sammy and I would very much like to keep our jobs, so go ahead and text AM to 52886. Of course, you could always listen to us on the free iHeartRadio app. Add us to your presets. That helps out the numbers when it comes to performance review time with the bosses. But anything you could do on the free iHeartRadio app to interact with this show helps us out a ton. So please do.
858 says something I said, tough AFC West, LMAO, like the Chiefs haven't won the division 10 years in a row. Sure thing.
I was going to bring that up, actually. It's not like the Chiefs never benefited from the down years of the Chargers, the down years of the Raiders, the down years of the Broncos.
858, I want you to appreciate this because it was more of a shot at Buffalo, how they run through a terrible division and then everyone kind of just falls in love with them and then they fail at the end of the day. Whereas the Ravens and Chiefs actually, because according to everyone's preseason predictions, the Chargers and Broncos are going to overtake the division. Now, we all know that's silly and goofy, but I just wanted everyone to know that it was more of a shot at Buffalo.
Okay. You feel good about that?
I did. I just want to get that out there. Maria's checking in from Comic-Con.
You hate yourself some Buffalo. You really do. Oh, actually.
I love them. They're free wins every year.
What's going on, Maria? Thank you for letting us know you're at Comic-Con. Our buddy John Fink is down at Comic-Con, and I've asked him to send us like a minute and a half long pre-recorded voice memo thing about what's going on down there and what it looks like.
Are you a big Comic-Con guy?
I've only been to the outside of Comic-Con. I got sent down there once for work, and then once my cousin was setting up some of the booths that are outside, so I went to support her. But I've never been inside the convention center during Comic-Con. I don't think I would do well.
What do you mean you wouldn't do well? You're saying you don't fit in with all the costumes?
No, that part, fine. I don't do well unless it's like a sporting event or a concert around just tons and tons and tons of people. Like, I think I'd get real on edge.
You a little claustrophobic?
I don't even know if that's it, because I'm fine at concerts, I'm fine at sporting events, but it's when there's too many different things to be looking at and doing at the same time, that's when I get a little, whoa.
Huh. That's something you've talked to your therapist about.
I don't think I've ever been to therapy.
You should do it. It's good.
I just tried like drinking a beer every time I start to feel uncomfortable. Is that a good thing? Is that a healthy thing to do?
Hey, yeah, guys. Listen, whenever you feel down and sad, just drink.
Like, you sent me to Comic-Con after a few C-minuses, game on.
I think I would be like, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money to go to Comic-Con, but if someone was like, hey, would you like to go? I would go. I'd like to check it out. Not as much for the costumes, but it would be cool to be in, they do the large panels.
Yeah, would you want to go to something like that? Like having all the Avengers on stage or something, and you get to go just listen to them talk about how great the movie was to film?
I think it'd be a good experience.
They got to do something cool this year for the Fantastic Four stuff, which I'm pretty sure releases today.
I think we got some big celebs in town.
Is Pedro Pascal here?
Pedro Pascal is here. John Cena, I think, is on the dais for Peacemaker on Saturday.
So there was a lot of John Cena references in the new Superman movie because of that show Peacemaker.
What celebrity is tuned into our show right now? Please call in.
Well, if John Cena is responding to your Make-A-Wish attempt, then he's listening for you. Because Sammy just said, Mr. Cena, please, I just want you to listen to my show one time.
No, I thought about DMing John Cena, see if he wanted to come on, and then I was like, you know what?
Oh, today would have been the day, dude.
Well, there's still time. We have a show tomorrow.
Did you DM him?
No, not yet.
You should. Say, hey, Mr. John.
What if JC comes on the show tomorrow?
John Cena. I think JC is also Jesus Christ. Are you putting the two in the same category?
No, why are you doing that? No.
All right, let's get to long shots.
Trying to get me canceled over here. Ridiculous.
Yesterday was a failure. Maybe today is going to be different. Damn it. I just got the text from my brother saying we didn't win the lottery. So, Sammy, it's all up to you now. Hit that button.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, he's all big time now, huh? It's time for Sammy's Long Shots. Hold on. Can't talk until I say the important stuff. Long Shots is presented by Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Now, go.
In 2025, a popular thing is saying like somebody's green flag or somebody's red flag.
Yeah.
I think my one and only red flag is that I am 1000% convinced that my brother and I are going to win the lottery. And every time it doesn't happen, I get a little more sad.
See, my favorite part is like half the people that play the lottery, and I have no problem. You play the lottery. Like that's fun. I like playing the lottery. But I've had arguments with family members who tell me that gambling's bad and I'm going to hell and all this stuff.
And then you look in their purse and they got
and they have 20 lottery tickets.
Yeah.
I go, or they have $1,000 in the stock market. I go, well, aren't you doing the same thing?
This is, by the way, my favorite argument against the state of California for legalizing sports betting. You run the lottery, dude.
Yeah,
state
it's the
of California.
biggest gamble ever.
Yeah, you have like the worst odds of all time.
I got in a heated debate with someone one time. They're like, "Oh, you're gambling money. You're all stuff." I go, "If you could have back all they play the lottery like every week,
right?
If you could have all the money back that you played for the lottery, might be living in a different house right now."
Maybe. That's all we're saying.
That's just Sammy's soapbox for today.
All right. Well, what's your money making box for
all right,
today?
we're gonna go. We went 2 or 3 of the last 2 days. Very frustrating. Thought we had some winners. Miz sold us the other day. I went under on strikeouts for him. Last night, Max Fried, who has been very kind to long shots, did not come through for us. But today, we have an all pitcher parlay. A little bit lighter on the dossier today. We have a lot of the MLB games. A lot of people are in travel, and some of them have already started. But so we're gonna have the Padres in here, and I'll get to it now. So
Yu Darvish?
We're going with Yu Darvish. I'm going more than 4 pitcher strikeouts. And I know you might be like, after his last 2 starts back, I don't know about that. He had 1 strikeout and 2 strikeouts. Remember, you gotta get your feet wet a little bit. This is a guy who coming into a rotation, by the way, that had a lot of pressure on it, that everyone's been waiting on Darvish to come back, waiting on King to come back. Like, that's a lot to come into and try to be perfect in your first start. I think this is his first real money start of the season. 4 pitcher strikeouts seems a little low to me. I know St. Louis has a good lineup, but I think they let Darvish go a little bit farther tonight. Mike Shield better not let me down and not pull him early. But so more than 4 pitcher strikeouts for you, Darvish. Let's go to Reese Olson. We're going less than 4 pitcher strikeouts. Pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Detroit's been money. They've been one of the best teams in baseball all year. It feels like they don't get the credit they deserve because everyone still wants to think the Yankees going to the World Series, and maybe they will. But Detroit got a lot of experience last year. I mean, fantastic pitching staff. But Toronto quietly is a really nice team. They have given some teams some problems up there in the AL. We're going to go less than 4 pitcher strikeouts today. I think that, Reese Olson's a solid pitcher, but I think this number might be a little juiced for him. And then UC Kikuchi, we're going to go less than. We're hating on people today besides you Darvish. 6 pitcher strikeouts feels very high to me. I know Kikuchi's been one of the aces of the Angels staff, but Seattle is a really good lineup, not just because of Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. A lot of guys go in there into that lineup. And they had a pretty good barn burner game yesterday. I'm going to go less than for Kikuchi. I think that I know he does kind of have a tricky style, but I think that the pressure that the Mariners put on you, I would not be surprised if he gets pulled early in this game. So to recap, Yu Darvish, more than 4 pitcher strikeouts. Reese Olson for the Detroit Tigers, less than 4 pitcher strikeouts. And UC Kikuchi, less than 6 pitcher strikeouts.
I love it.
We're going a little bit different today. We usually go overs because we're going to be positive, but you know what? Some overs have not held. Like Max Fried did not hit. So we're going unders today.
All right, couple things here. Our guy Demi on YouTube saying, fellas, you guys doing the Creed tickets again today? If so, is it a 4-pack like John and Jim? Thanks. Answer, yes, but not till hour number 2. Demi Gunn also saying the radio is perfect for John Cena since you cannot see him. Creed tickets in hour 2.
I'm curious what that means.
Dude, you can't see me, John Cena?
Oh, okay.
Come on. The man who is constantly in camouflage.
Should we dump that? Rewind, reboot.
Yeah, what an idiot, Sammy. Right now, your chance to win Wiz Khalifa tickets. Creed tickets in hour 2. Wiz Khalifa tickets right now. You got to be caller number 7 at 877-767-4760. That's your chance to go see Wiz Khalifa with a bunch of guys. Dom Kennedy, Action Bronson, Earl Sweatshirt, and more at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on Friday, August 8th. Tickets and info at livenation.com. If you want to go for free, call right now, 877-767-4760. Caller number 7 is going to see Wiz Khalifa out at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Hour number 2 is next. Creed tickets on the line. Coach Kentera is going to be on the line. We got a lot to get to. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Dairy Queen. 4:45 today. Padres back on the road in St. Louis, taking on the Cardinals, who are a few games back of them in the NL wildcard race. Sonny Gray will be going for the Cardinals, while Yu Darvish will be making his third start back with the Padres going tonight. And pro wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has sadly died at the age of 71. It's cake batter. It's cookie dough. It's the new Superman cake batter cookie dough blizzard treat. Now participating in DQ locations for a limited time. Fly in today for this cosmic collision of flavor, and don't miss Superman in theaters now. DQ. Happy tastes good.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. Text line throwing some shots at long shots, dude.
You can read it.
It's been a while.
Read it.
Sammy hasn't won a long shot since the Circa endorsement.
Yeah, they're taking shots. It's okay. Listen, I was on an absolute heater. Now, in my defense, the segment is called Long Shots.
April and May were really, really good months.
And guess what we had? NBA basketball. When MLB, I know my MLB, but it's hard to predict night in, night out, because guys, like 162 games, you're going to take off a Tuesday in July because you're bored. But just wait. Football season is right around the corner.
The best I've ever done gambling was last year's NFL season.
Yes.
I walked out of that season much richer than I walked into it.
Sammy Claus is coming back with a vengeance, and he's giving out all gifts to the children. Okay. You're not getting coal for Christmas. You're getting a box of gold.
And then we're going to Vegas, and we're going to give out 1 billion picks in Vegas.
And the best thing you do with the Circa endorsement, guess what you can play? Guess what you can do? You can do Circa Survivor. You can
How about Circa Millions?
Circa Millions.
That too?
5 picks against the spread each week. That's what I'm doing.
Let's go.
See if you can beat Fletch and I's NFL knowledge.
I'm very, very excited about our Vegas trip coming up. I'm starting to make some plans here. We need a show to go to. We need something. We might do the medieval times thing at Excalibur. I don't know. Sammy wants to go to Empire Strips Back. Could be crazy.
I just said it was an option.
Tickets are available.
You said go to a big show in Vegas, and I looked up big shows, and it was literally in the top 5.
I was thinking more like David Copperfield.
Well, that's fine too.
Cirque du Soleil. Sammy comes out with, how about a porno parody of Star Wars? I want to see Jabba the Hutt get naked, dude.
I'm just saying it's not something you would see every day.
No, it's not. All right, we got plenty to get to this hour. Big 3 coming up in just a little bit. Coach Kentera coming up at 1:30 for his usual Thursday appointment. But Sammy, I do have a question because something just happened in the break room. Are you a Chipotle guy? You like Chipotle, right?
Of course.
I like Chipotle too. Like it a lot. I don't like the chips at Chipotle.
What? That's the best part of it.
I don't like the chips at Chipotle.
The little salt on there?
Would they do some lime salt? I'd rather you just squeeze a lime and then salt. Don't do the lime salt. That's a problem for me. That's a me problem. In the break room right now, there's a bunch of Qdoba chips, which I feel like Chipotle and Qdoba are like
I haven't had Qdoba in like 10 years.
But it's like Duke, North Carolina. Like they're bitter rivals, right? Qdoba chips? Fire.
I think Chipotle has won the Qdoba. I think this is Duke, North Carolina in football.
It probably, but it's more like Qdoba doesn't win here, but it wins elsewhere in the country. Chipotle wins here, but it doesn't win elsewhere in the country.
I got to tell you something. There's a little dirty secret about Chipotle. 70470. Start your message with team. Let me know if you agree with this. I don't want to trash Chipotle because I love Chipotle. It's been a solid companion for a lot of years, especially post workout.
Might get some Chipotle today.
Yeah, it sounds good. There's a problem. The last 2 times I went to Chipotle, I was a little disappointed, and I realized why. I went at 4:30. If you go in the 4 o'clock hour, usually they're changing over the food, like because they don't want to make all the fresh meat and rice and everything for 4 o'clock because they know the dinner rush is going to start at 5. So if you go at 4:15, 4:30, you're getting old scraps and it doesn't taste very good.
The life hack for both Chipotle and Panda Express is you go the second they open. If you are the first person through the doors at like 10 o'clock at either one of those places, if you're the first person through, you are getting the freshest stuff.
There is nothing Panda Express when they set down the flaming hot orange chicken in front of you.
Or how about when you watch them bring the chow mein from the wok in the back up to the front?
Panda sound. I haven't had Panda.
You're like, you're getting the fresh chow mein. It's like heaven opens up and starts singing to you. All right, we've wasted enough time on this. Just a thought. Qdoba, your chips are elite. I really, really like them. They're better than Chipotle's chips, but Chipotle probably has the better overall product. Sammy, let's get to some big 3 stories here where we go through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy Long, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Here you go. Our buddy Demi. I grew up in Kentucky. Chipotle was a non-factor. It was Qdoba and Moe's. So I'm saying Qdoba wins elsewhere. It just doesn't win here.
I'm hungry, man. That
I
sounds
could
good
go for
right
some-
now. Qdoba's solid.
Qdoba's great. Their queso is better than Chipotle's queso.
I gotta tell you a place that doesn't get enough credit, and we're gonna stop talking about food because
Every hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant in San Diego
obviously
is better than both of those places combined.
Well, that's not even a question. That's 100%. But like Rubio's does not get enough love.
Dude, that is exactly what my wife says. And I'm so upset that you just said that because I cannot stand it.
What's wrong with Rubio's?
I think it is the most bland food you could have. But my wife loves it. So we end up there at least once every 2 weeks.
Rubio's solid, healthy choice, but tastes good. Don't sleep on Rubio's. Okay.
Dude,
hey,
this is a good pull from Demi. Go to Salulitas Mexican food in Santee. Strong pull. They do a bacon wrap carne asada burrito. Oh,
my local spot is Rancho Viejo and RB. That's my spot. I go there all the time. It's a little hole in the walls right across from McDonald's.
Burrito Santana over by McGregor's. Solid spot. All right, where are we going in sports? I'm so hungry.
Hey,
dude.
sports is happening. Commanders Von Miller just signed last week. Former Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills pass rusher signed with the Commanders. He said, I can still roll out of bed and rush the passer. Of the overall thing, where do you put the Commanders in the NFC? And do you think we're going to see a team we see every year kind of quarterback regression year 2? Do we think we're going to see that from Jaden Daniels?
I don't think so. I don't know what it is about Jaden Daniels. He seems like he's calm, cool, and collected. Now, I do think he needs to be better about protecting himself. He put himself in some bad situations last year where he's getting hit near the sideline. He doesn't have the body of Josh Allen, dude. He's got to make sure that he is protecting himself a little bit better. So injury could be a problem for Jaden Daniels this year. I think he got very, very fortunate a year ago, but I don't see his play taking a step back. He's got something special in there. He's a little bit of magic man. I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I got them winning the NFC South.
I'm sorry. Text line's making me laugh. Text line, you guys are crazy, but we love you. Yes, Jaden Daniels. I'm
what
agree.
The hell even is that? Are you talking about the 484 text? There's no way I could read that, but
No,
what is it?
Okay,
Seriously, 484. No, text me what that is. I'm very, very curious.
Okay, we need to focus because the text line is like some comedy writers right now. Okay, Jaden Daniels. Yes, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a phenomenal player. Jaden Daniels elevated. This is not a guy, by the way, who just had a solid rookie season, went to the playoffs, got waxed, or missed the playoffs. Like, let's not forget, CJ Stroud destroyed the Browns in the playoffs. So I got to give him credit for that. But that is the Browns. And the Texans were favored in that game. They were at home in that game. And then they got shellacked by the Ravens, went on to lose to Kansas City. Jaden Daniels has done more in his rookie season than a lot of quarterbacks have done their entire careers. He went on the road in 2 playoff games as massive dogs. He was 4.5 point dogs against Tampa Bay. Then he was like 9.5, 10.5 point dogs against the Lions and won those games outright. Dak Prescott's never done that in his whole career. He has not. I think he's won 2 playoff games his entire career, and one of them was at home. So I got to give Jaden Daniels a lot of credit. I think Jaden Daniels is that guy that can elevate into the top 5 quarterback discussion. And in the NFC, it's weird because the Eagles are the favorite. They're the Super Bowl champion. And I do agree. Some of our texters were texting in last week about how Jalen Hurts doesn't get the respect he deserves. I mean, this is a guy who's played in 2 Super Bowls, played excellent in both games. And just because he's on a stacked offense, I think he gets dogged a little bit. But in terms of the NFC, it's like Jalen Hurts is a proven quarterback, and then Jaden Daniels. And then there's a lot of guys who you could put up there who you think has the ability to do it. But Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders are certainly there for the taking.
All right, what's next?
Let's head to the NBA real quick. So Marcus Smart has his presser with the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday. Says sky is the limit for the Lakers. Thinks that they can go win a title. They are currently 4th favorite in the West behind the Rockets, Nuggets, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, with the Clippers followed right behind them. Where do you think the Lakers stack in this year in the West, and how much pressure is on them to go far?
Is LeBron on the team or off the team?
On the team.
On the team. I actually think their chances might be better with him off the team. But on the team, I think the Lakers are, they do have a shot to win a title. They absolutely do. Can LeBron and Luka, really just LeBron, set aside his ego for a year? That's going to be the most important thing, because I thought LeBron was getting really good at that. Like I did. And then this offseason, all we've heard is that LeBron's upset that the Lakers are talking to Luka before they talk to LeBron, that LeBron wants to leave, that LeBron has back deals with Dallas to go play with the Mavericks. Like, it's been bizarre this offseason. If they can overcome ego in that room, the Lakers have as good a shot at anybody to win a national championship this year. World championship.
Yeah, the Thunder deserve to be number one, understandably so. They bring everyone back, and they won it last year. I think the Nuggets are a very solid team, adding Valanciunas, Cam Thomas, getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. because he didn't really fit the system. He was paid like a third star, but was kind of too odd. He would show up sometimes and not enough. Cam Thomas gets you a scorer, not quite Michael Porter Jr., but a very solid defender as well. So they deserve to be ahead. I don't totally believe in the Rockets, but I get it if people do. Kevin Durant is exactly what they need. Amen Thompson, Şengün expected to take a step forward. I don't believe in the Clippers. That's just me. I think that's literally a retirement home. Brooke Lopez is 37 years old. Nick Batum's 36. Chris Paul's 40, and Bradley Beal's 32. And that's all their signings after having Kawhi Leonard, who's massively injury prone, and James Harden, who's 36. In terms of the Lakers, I think Marcus Smart adds something. You have a point of attack defender, which is something the Lakers badly need, because if Reeves and Luka are going to be on the floor together, that's not a lot of defense being played in the backcourt. You need someone who can step up and take that. If him and Vanderbilt are healthy, they could be pretty nasty. Quickly, last one in the MLB wildcard picture. So Padres currently sit in that last spot. Phillies are 3 games up on them. Chicago is 5 games up on them. San Francisco is 1.5 back. Cincinnati's 2.5 back. St. Louis is 3.5 back, and Arizona is 5.5 back. Fletch, what team out of those scares you the most? Would you not want to play in the first round? I can go first if you want.
Go for it.
Okay. The Cubs are the obvious one sitting at the top. The Cubs are a really nasty team. In fact, they've absolutely taken it to the Dodgers. I mean, you have Kyle Tucker. The pitching staff's great. Imanaga's there. Pete Crow Armstrong has become the breakout star of the MLB this year, partly because he plays for Chicago, but partly because he's a really solid player. That's just a really deep lineup. Like 1 through 9, that's a lineup that is tough to get through. And we kind of talk about the Dodgers in the same regard of how it's hard. You can't really pitch around anybody. The Cubs have that. The Phillies certainly have the pedigree of they've been there before. So I don't think you're like Schwarber and Harper and all those guys are not scared to go up against anyone. Kind of feel like the Padres are a little bit the same way. They've been there before. The Phillies a little bit farther. But in terms of playing in the postseason, I don't know that the Giants have enough, but they're just a very solid team.
I was going to go Phillies because of Kyle Schwarber and because of the fact that I'm pretty sure he's the most clutch player in all of baseball. All-Star game aside, how many times have we seen Schwarber just come up with huge moments against the Padres in the postseason? Feels like Kyle Schwarber is that dude, and so I don't want to play the Phillies or even get close to the Phillies this postseason. It'd be much better if someone else just takes them out. All right, coming up next, we got Coach Kentera in about 15 minutes. He's going to talk some Padres trade deadline. Next, we are getting back to the NFL. Plus, the texts are coming in like crazy. We got some dogs in our audience, dude. We got some dogs. San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
On the show here, we love squad ride W's. That's what we do. We don't like just winning money us. We don't like when you just win money. We like when we all win money together. You get a post on your Instagram, everyone goes, "Oh my God, what I gotta follow their picks. I gotta be with them. They're winning money." This is why you gotta check out Circa Survivor. It's $1,000 to enter, so grab 9 of your friends or family, going $100 each, or if you and your buddy are confident, split the 1,000 yourself. You pick one team each week to win their matchup. Don't gotta worry about a point spread. Don't gotta worry about a point total. You pick one team to win. All you gotta have them is win. Once you burn a team, you can't pick them again this season. So this is good for Fletch because Fletch would probably pick the Niners to win every single week because of the soft schedule apparently they have, but that would probably dip out for the third week. So he has to pick a new team every single week. This is good for him. With Circa Million, you have the ability to win $15 million. All you got to do is go 20-0 or outlast the competition. But everyone knows you try to plan a vacation with the friend group. You want to go to Vegas. Someone wants a high-priced dinner. Someone wants to go gamble. But I say let's just agree that we meet at the sports book. If you and your group have trouble deciding on things, they come into a consensus on a weekly pick for Circa Survivor may not be right for you. Don't worry, Circa's got you covered with Circa Million, where you don't need friends to tell you what to pick. All you need to do is pick 5 teams against the spread each week, and you can win up to $6 million in guaranteed prizes. Winner gets $1 million, and get this: if you're the worst entry in the pool, you win the booby prize, which is $100,000 to the worst entry. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere, and win your money now with Circa.
We mentioned a little bit earlier that SDFC is back on the pitch tomorrow night. They got Nashville FC at Snapdragon Stadium, 1v1 East and West. But what we did not mention is that San Diego Sports 760, we're going to have a tent out at FanFest tomorrow night. And at that tent is your chance to win a signed jersey of all the players currently on SDFC. The post is up on Instagram right now at SD Sports 760. John and Jim, well, I think it's just Jim in the video, but it is a very, very slick looking jersey. All the players' signatures are on it, and it will be given away tomorrow at FanFest out at the SDFC game at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets still available at sandiegofc.com. So go check that out. Sammy be rocking that jersey.
Hell yeah, I'd be rocking that jersey. Why did Jim get to be in the video?
Because I don't know. Jim's the guy. Because we're both doing something right now. We're busy with work.
Yeah. Do you see Schaefer all mad at him that he didn't go to San Diego State basketball practice, but he went to SDFC open practice yesterday? They were both out on the road.
Sounds like something John would do. He'd get upset about something like that.
Yeah.
It's also, John, it is July 24th. What are you doing at Aztecs basketball practice?
Well,
I would go to one, to be clear, but it is July 24th.
I wonder what, going back, I was thinking of the text line. Everyone's in on this. I wonder what John Schaefer's favorite, like Qdoba, fast food places, Qdoba, Chipotle. Like, does he even eat any? Does he even know what that is?
I bet you he's got a Chipotle order. Just a lot of fajitas. Just all veggies.
Remember when John tried Dave's Hot Chicken and it was like a new world was open?
By the way, I've known John now for, God, we're going on like 8 years and working with him every single day. I've seen John eat meat 3 times, and it's always been because he lost a bet. And every single time he says the same thing. It's like, why do I keep myself from doing this?
I don't know. He knows that you're supposed to eat protein.
You need protein. Text line's been going crazy today. We're going to get to a fun college football topic in just a second. Coach Kentera coming up in 8 minutes. Creed tickets on the line this hour. But text line, I'm not kidding right now, 5 different people on the text line have told us that Empire Strips Back is actually a great show out in Vegas. So I don't know what is this.
I told you. Okay, so me and my buddy were sitting at.
What is it?
I don't know where
is
it's
it at a strip club? Like, what are we doing?
It's not a strip club. It's a show. It's not a strip club. It's It's like I was sitting at a bar with my friend.
I wish I was making. There's 5 different people on the text line right now saying that it's actually a great show.
We were going to Vegas. We were looking up top shows, and Empire Strips Back came in at number 3. I believe was behind Cirque du Soleil and Mind Freak for Chris Angel.
That's great. It's like, should we be doing this?
858 Empire Strips Back is an excellent show. No joke. 484 Google. It's a Vegas show. I'm more of a zombie.
I'm honestly
more of a zombie
in shock.
burlesque type, but Empire Strips Back is also very good. 484 knows, dude.
I guess we're doing it. Maybe is that like work trip? Can we expense that? What do you think?
I think the real question is, can we do it? Can we do like one of those Jim Russell does all these stories on San Diego Sports 760, these reels where he's talking. What if we were narrating through the show? Because our bosses always want social media.
I'm going to take a guess and say cameras are not allowed inside. Just a wild
It's just
guess.
the human body, Fletch. God, can you not be so prudish?
I'm sorry. That's me. We all know it. I'm the prude. All right, Sammy, you said this along on Twitter. So somebody put out the top 10 college football coaches who has the most to prove going into this year. And by the way, somehow Deion Sanders is on this list and Bill Belichick is not. Bill Belichick is a college coach right now. Is this conference specific?
No, this is everyone.
So Bill Belichick somehow did not make this list. I don't really get that, but Deion Sanders is on this list. To me, Deion Sanders has the most to prove of any coach in college football heading into this year because Colorado's gotten all the glitz, all the glamour, all the hype. Have they done anything? The answer is no. Is Deion Sanders actually a good coach or is he a really good hype man? That's what I want to find out this college football season.
I hear you with that. And I don't think Deion's not getting fired. Deion might be the safest coach in America because of the brand that Colorado football.
Oh, that's not what I didn't take most to prove. He's got to prove to the fans that he's actually a good college football coach.
I agree. But he in terms of like job stability, what he brings to Colorado was 1-11 before he got there. And then everyone's talking about they went 4-8 with Shedeur and Travis Hunter, and everyone's talking they're the hottest story in college football. So I agree with the Deion one, but his job's safe just in terms of proving that he's a good coach. Besides coaching his son and Travis Hunter, I'm with that. James Franklin came in at number 1 on that. I totally agree. The amount of talent that he's been able to have at Penn State, there's really been a drop off when it comes to Ohio State, Michigan, the Big Ten, and then it's Penn State. They've won some big games over the years, but they couldn't put it together. They got to the Final Four last year. They probably should have beat Notre Dame, but they didn't.
Kind of feels like Penn State is national championship or bust this year.
Their team is stacked. And Drew Aller is supposed to be one of the top picks of the draft, and they have 2 of the best running backs in the country. Lincoln Riley out of USC makes a lot of sense. Lincoln Riley's number 2, and Brett Venables at Oklahoma's number 3. Lincoln Riley next year has the number 1 recruiting class coming into USC. He was on Colin Cowherd earlier today. In the first year, they go to the Pac-12 championship game, and Caleb Williams gets his ankle stepped on by Utah, and they lose the game. The next year, it's been a downward trend each year. The defense was better last year. It's odd because they lost the most 1-score games in the entire country. But this year is a real make or break because with the transfer portal and everything, even though you have the number 1 transfer portal or incoming class next year, if SC sucks this year, they're all going to dip out. Venables is interesting too because everyone talks about Lincoln Riley when he left Oklahoma, but Brett Venables, Oklahoma has not really been the powerhouse since he took over, and Oklahoma's a program that is usually always at the top of the discussion because they kind of own the Midwest.
All right, text line, you need to take a break here. You need to take a chill pill. We got Coach Kentera coming up next. Lincoln Riley is probably the right answer to that question because he's getting paid an ungodly amount of money.
The text line is like I don't know.
Text line's jealous that we're going to Vegas. They want to go right now.
The text line is very charged up today. Like just very emotionally, physically charged up today.
Here's what I've learned. Empire Strips Back does not have nudity in it, so the name is a little misleading. That's what I've learned.
I wish we could read some of these texts. Like, there's no way to edit them without making them not funny, but.
And we'll leave it at that. Coach Kentera is coming up next. Maybe Coach has been to Empire Strips Back. What do you think, Sammy? Coach Kentera on the other side at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's been presented by Dairy Queen. Padres 4-game set against the Cardinals in St. Louis coming up today, 4:45. Padres currently plus 125 on the money line with the Cardinals favored. Yu Darvish should be going for the Pods, bringing a record of 0-2 with a 6.08 ERA, and Sonny Gray will be going for the Cards, who was 9-4 with a 4.04 ERA. And James Cook says I deserve what I want. Bills running back is holding in on training camp, hoping for a new deal. This has been brought to you by Dairy Queen.
All right, we need to get back on track here today. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. The best way to get back on track always is to bring on the coach. Coach Kentera joining us today. Find him now at San Diego Sports Talk on YouTube. Coach John Kentera, how we doing today?
Fletch, doing great. Thanks for having me. It is a gorgeous day in America's finest city.
It really is. Coach, I did find myself thinking about both you and Steve Hartman over the last couple of days because it's been a wild week of celebrity death. And I feel like growing up, and when I first moved here to San Diego, the guys I would tune into were sports talk guys when something earth-shattering would happen, because I feel like, and this is taking myself out of the equation, but sports talk guys have a better way of relating to every normal human being. So if you have any relation to the Ozzy Osbourne passing away this week, Hulk Hogan today, I'd love to give you the floor for a couple seconds to hear what you would have said about those.
Well, Ozzy Osbourne, obviously when I was growing up, he was a big star, and, he obviously was a man that dealt with a lot. We know all about his addiction issues, but he's also a guy that rallied back, and, he was battling Parkinson's, and, kind of caught me by surprise the other night when I heard he passed away. And this morning I was at my granddaughter's indoor volleyball camp, and I got the word about Hulk Hogan, and man, that really saddened me as well. I always enjoyed Hulk Hogan. I never had him on the air. It's kind of interesting, Fletch. I had two wrestlers on the air way back when, and one of them's passed on a long time ago, Randy Macho Man Savage. Him and The Undertaker, two different times, Macho Man came into the studio and hung out with me for an hour, and we took phone calls. And then, I don't know, it was a year or two later, I had The Undertaker come in. And man, I got to tell you, both those guys were absolutely fantastic. And, I kind of looked at them a lot like I looked at Hulk Hogan. They were bigger than the brand. Whether it was WWE or WWSC or, the different alphabet they've used over the years. But, Hulk Hogan was a great guy, promoted a lot of things, did a lot of good things in his life. And I was really saddened to see that this morning. I just got home here and I was talking to my wife about it. And I'm sure I'll be watching a lot of the stuff tonight on the news about the Hulkster. But him and Ozzy Osbourne within a couple of days, kind of a tough pill to swallow.
It's crazy. And with both of those guys, you talk about the bigger than life stuff, and they were both just natural entertainers. I mean, Hulk Hogan slamming down Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 people. In what world do 93,000 people show up to an event that the outcome is already predetermined? You need to have those Hulk Hogan-esque type of personalities to even make something like that happen. Just crazy to think about. All right, Coach, let's move on to the Padres. Obviously, big week coming up. You got the Cardinals for 4, trade deadline looming. What are you hearing about the Padres and the trade deadline with it just being a week away?
Well, probably not what the fans would like to hear. I think a guy you have on your program, and I know John and Jim have on, Kevin Acey, he reported a couple of days ago that, they're looking for AJ to be creative. Well, that tells me if he's got to be creative, they don't have any money, or the money they have, they don't want to spend. They don't want to pay that luxury tax at the end of the year. And right now, where their payroll is, I believe it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $4 million that they would have to pay. Nowadays, that's for a backup utility infielder, I think. But nonetheless, it sounds like they're not going to do anything behind the plate. Mike Schilt loves these two catchers. Thinks that they've done an incredible job of helping this pitching staff, considering they've been undermanned. So it doesn't look like they're going to go a direction to get a veteran catcher. And I'll be honest with you, there's really not a whole lot out there that's going to be any better. Defensively, probably not, and offensively, maybe a little bit better. So they're going to roll the dice, probably go with these guys the remainder of the year. Maybe at some point they'll give Camposano an opportunity. But, I had a buddy of mine that actually went out and watched El Paso last week, and one day Camposano was the designated hitter. The next day he was playing first base. He wasn't even catching. So not that he's given up catching or the Padres have given up on him, but it doesn't seem like there's a sense of urgency to get him a lot of innings behind the plate, even in AAA. They'd like to get an arm, they'd like to get a bat, but it doesn't sound like this ownership is wanting to make a commitment to take on money. If anything, I could see a couple of guys maybe going out the door. I heard the other night there have been some teams call on Cronenworth, and I'll be honest with you, when you look at his contract, he's not making a ton of money, but, $11, $12 million through 2030, that kind of adds up. And you look at his numbers, he's a very average major league player at this point in time. He's still kind of living off that first year when it was a COVID year and they played 60 games against the National League West and American League West. In the last couple of years, he had an OPS plus. It was under 100, and 100 is average. This year, he's at about 110 starting the ball game tonight, so I could see him go. And I definitely could see Dylan Cease go before the trading deadline next Thursday.
Coach, piggyback on Dylan Cease and Jake Cronenworth, would you trade either guy if you were running the Padres?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Sammy. I think, and I hate to say this because I'm such a competitor and I want to win. I mean, I want to win at whatever. I win at trying to cook a good dinner for my wife. I want to make sure everything's perfect, and it's hard to wave the white flag. Now, this team, if they don't do anything, they're going to probably make the playoffs. I think they'd probably find a way to hang on to that third spot. But realistically, we got to take a step or two back. Can this team really win the World Series? I don't think so with what they have right now. I'm not sure if they go out and they trade, whether it's Cease or Cronenworth, or they trade one of their minor league kids that, is very well thought of. I don't know if that's going to be a difference maker. I think that they should take a good hard look what they have, what they don't have. We know their minor league system is not very frugal right now, and all the better prospects are in Lake Elsinore or Fort Wayne. Salas probably done for the regular season, the catcher that was in Double-A with that stress reaction in his back. So they've got to recoup this farm system. And now they could roll the dice. They could keep Cease. They could keep Arise and keep all the guys that are pending free agents, and then put a qualifying offer on. They could get, a fourth-round draft pick. Well, great. I think any trade that they make, they need to take on a player, not rent a vet. They need to take, if they make a deal, a guy that's going to be here for a year or two, whether it's Jaron Duran. There's been talk about Stephen Kwan out of Cleveland. I don't know why Cleveland would ever think about trading Stephen Kwan. He's a two-time All-Star, a three-time Gold Glove guy, having a good year, hitting 285. He's got a couple more years under control. But you never know what teams are thinking. Marcell Ozuna's been linked to the Padres, but he's having a down year after a monster year last year. He's also battled a hip injury. So, I think AJ, and again, I'm kind of waiting to find out what the Padres are going to do with AJ, because next year, 2026, at the end of the year, his contract's up, and you're not going to send him into next year as a lame duck president of baseball operations. So they haven't exactly made a whole lot of moves, this new ownership with John Seidler in charge. So they've got a lot of things to get done. And I think by next Thursday, we're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out about where this ownership is at. Are they in? Are they going to just kind of play a status quo and try to get through this year and go a different direction with the ball club maybe as early as next year?
I think we learned a lot, Coach. I think you're dead on. Coach Kentera joining us today on San Diego Sports 760. You can find him on YouTube at San Diego Sports Talk. And it's not just what the ownership does right now, but what they do going into next offseason. And I think we find out a lot about whether they're committed to making what Peter was dreaming of a reality, or whether they're committed to running a baseball organization and running it to put the most money in their pockets as possible. Coach, I'm curious your thoughts on the next week, the next 7 days. Obviously, they got the Cardinals here for 4. Do wins and losses determine what happens at the trade deadline, or do you think that's already been determined?
Well, I think you want to go into St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis has been scuffling a little bit. Sonny Gray coming off a really tough start last time out, but overall his ERA was about 3.57, and it jumped over 4. He got beat up pretty good against the Diamondbacks his last time out. But Cardinals are tough at Busch Stadium. Padres have always struggled, even when they've had good ball clubs playing the Cardinals there back in the Midwest. I think where they're at right now, record-wise, that says you need to be a buyer. If you drop 3 or 4, I think you're still a buyer. But remember, they're coming home. They don't get a day off. They got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against the New York Mets. And then the trading deadline will be the following day at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Well, if they drop 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 7, things can change. But right now, I think they, it tells me they should be buyers. But is the ownership going to open up the checkbook? We'll wait and see.
Coach, something you said about AJ Preller, his contract being up next year. Do you think if they don't make any moves, that's basically management signaling to AJ Preller he won't have a job next year?
What I thought was interesting was the comment, as I go back to Kevin's column a couple of days ago, saying the organization is looking for AJ to be creative. Well, that tells me they basically don't want to spend money. They want the general manager to be Harry Houdini. And, he's pulled off some good trades in the past. Not all of them at the trading deadline have worked out. In fact, more than half of them probably haven't worked out. But you know what? Least of all, he's in there punching. This ball club, let's talk about the ball club here for a minute. How about them playing a little bit better? How about starting to swing the bat? How about Fernando starting to play with a little more passion? Manny, until yesterday where he had a couple of hits, he was 2 for 19 on the road trip. Bogarts is doing his part. Rise is doing his part. Looks like Jackson Merrill starting to get his game going a little bit. But, some of the big name guys on this team need to pick it up a little bit. And hopefully if they pick it up, some of the other guys at the bottom end of that lineup will start, it'll rub off on them as well. But Fernando's got to start swinging the bat and do some damage. Yeah, he's getting on here and there, but he's not doing any damage at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos online circulating with Padres Twitter where they're going back to finding old highlights from Fernando Tatis Jr. talking about how they need that guy at the trade deadline this year. Coach, appreciate the hell out of your time. I don't know how excited you are, but tonight at midnight, the new Happy Gilmore movie comes out. Are you staying up for that one?
I don't know if I'll stay up, but I'll definitely see it. I still got to get to see the new Superman. You guys seen that?
Oh, yeah, it's solid.
It's good, Coach.
It's a different type of Superman. It's a little more fun-focused, and it's a little happier version.
Yeah, I've got to get out there and see that. I saw some of the previews, but been kind of busy running around with grandkids at sporting events and, watching a lot of Padre baseball. But I definitely want to get down there and see that. And I'll definitely want to see that Happy Gilmore movie. Those are always special.
Happy Gilmore's easy. It's Netflix only, so it's just on your TV at home. Coach, appreciate the time. Find him online at San Diego Sports Talk, putting new videos up all the time. Coach, thank you.
All right, boys. Hey, next week when we talk, the trading deadline will only be about an hour and a half away.
Yep, we're going to be right there in the middle of it. Thank you, Coach. It's San Diego Sports 760. If you want to win a 4-pack of tickets to go see Creed at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater coming up on August 6th, now is the time to do so. Call 877-767-4760. Your shot to win a 4-pack of tickets to go see Creed. And I'll leave you a little hint. Potentially see some people on stage alongside Creed. That's coming up right now. Call 877-767-4760. We'll wrap this thing up and give you a little preview of Happy Gilmore 2 coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Final time today. Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long with you. John and Jim are going to be taking over in just a little bit. And by the way, John and Jim will have some info on how you can win a fully signed up SDFC jersey tomorrow night at the game from the San Diego Sports 760 booth.
You think they'll be giving away a Fletch and Sammy signed jersey?
One day, 55, 60 years from now. I don't know. We'll still be going.
The Fletch Zone
Yeah, baby.
jersey?
Onlyflesh.com. That's what I'm talking about.
Onlyflesh.com.
The Raptors head coach, Sammy, help me out here. Dorak Ragovic.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. He had a quote out yesterday or the day before where he said, I can't wait till Steph Curry retires. I'm going to get drunk that night. Steph Curry has fired back as of an hour ago and said, I'm not even close to retiring.
Well, that's so weird the Raptors would say that because they're in the East. Like, Curry's in the West. It doesn't really make like why would that affect him so much?
It is a little bizarre, but Steph Curry's 37 years old. Do you believe him?
That he's gonna play for a long time?
Yeah.
I mean, Curry. First off, especially the way Curry plays,
It's a lot of running, dude.
Even when he starts to deteriorate and maybe he's not bringing the ball up the whole time, he could sit in the corner and be a spot up shooter at age 40, 41. Because his shot's not going to go away. It's just the fact that maybe his conditioning. I mean, LeBron's 41. He's still playing at a high level. So I think easily 4 or 5 more seasons of Steph Curry could be totally there.
I'd like to see it, especially if he gets another run at the Olympics. I'd say the most entertaining basketball we've seen in the last few years, outside of maybe like March Madness, was Team USA this last time around with Team USA versus France, the Golden Dagger.
So I believe it was not Reggie Miller. Richard Jefferson said on a podcast last week that he thought that the U.S. will lose the Olympics in basketball in 2028 in LA. I think that's absurd because I get it. You have Luka,
they were pretty close this year to losing, or this last run at the Olympics.
So the biggest challenge will be France and Canada. Canada's got Shea. Not that Dylan Brooks is a great player, but they have NBA level talent on that team. France, you have Wemby, who's going to be at the top of his game. Who knows where Gobert will be? They have good players. But this next iteration of the Olympic basketball, who's going to be the stars? Like Halliburton,
Anthony Edwards,
Tatum, Anthony Edwards. Who are we missing right now? Who young Americans? Oh, Cooper Flag, maybe 4 years from now.
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams could be one. Who are we missing? Like
Steph Curry's still going to be around, according to him.
He'll make he probably won't start because he'll be 40. Did
you say
41.
Tatum already?
Tatum. Jaylen Brown can make the team. He got iced out last time. Like the problem is, even though we might not have we're going to have a deeper bench than anyone. We better not lose it in LA.
We better not. That'd be terrible, dude. Michael Jordan would come out of retirement and start swinging on fools if we lost in LA.
Exactly.
All right. Coach Kentera, I thought was fantastic today. If you missed any of that, it'll be up on the podcast a little bit later on. Just search the Fletch Zone on the free iHeartRadio app. But the thing that Coach talked about that I really want to hone in on tomorrow is the fact that we are going to learn exactly how this ownership feels over the next 7 days. Depending, maybe if the Padres go 0-7, then we could all kind of get behind selling. But say nothing crazy happens and no big names come in, or the equal amount of big names exit as big names come in. So if the Padres essentially are flat heading into the trade deadline, what does that tell you about what the current Seidler ownership group is doing to further the previous Seidler ownership?
You're talking about
group?
AJ Preller.
No, I'm talking about John Seidler. I'm talking about AJ Preller. AJ Preller less so. He's an employee. What is this ownership group seeing for this Padres team over the next 10 years?
Well, I think, by the way, I understand some people can be frustrated at AJ Preller at times for some of the trades. But
he's an employee.
No GM's perfect. And what Coach was kind of insinuating there is reading between the lines that they don't let him do anything. And AJ Preller's contracts next year, he's not going. Coach is right. They're not going to a contract next year where he's going to be up after the season and you haven't extended your general manager. I think AJ Preller's done a phenomenal job. I know he's whipped on a few things, but for what he's been given, for the amount of stuff he's been given, yes, they were opening the checkbooks wild left and right a few years ago. I'm not blaming him for the Soto deal. Anyone makes that trade. AJ Preller would have been fired if it would have come out that he could have accepted a Juan Soto deal and he didn't do it. Because at the time, CJ Abrams and James Wood were just potential prospects. Yeah, did they turn out? Yes. But AJ Preller is certainly not to blame, in my opinion. But this ownership is going to tell us a lot because, as Coach said, even though this team I think has a lot of problems with it, and I don't think it's a World Series contending team right now, this is a team with a positive record. This is a team that was in a better position record-wise than it was last year. If they sit there and they basically kind of say, F you to AJ Preller and let him hang out to dry, I think it says a lot about the new ownership.
All right, Happy Gilmore 2 coming out tonight. Is that a stay up till midnight to watch tonight, Sammy, or are you waiting until tomorrow?
That depends. I'm heading to a comedy show tonight with my boys downtown.
Natasha Leggero in town?
Yep, I'm very excited for that.
She's hilarious, dude. She came in here in studio last year. She was great.
Yeah, she's great at all the roasts. So we're gonna see that. Maybe depending. Definitely tomorrow night we'll be seeing. Are you a stay up till midnight?
No shot, dude. I'm up at like 4 a.m. No, that'll be a tomorrow night watch. I'm gonna try to convince my wife to do it. I think we're going to the SDFC game tomorrow night, so it would be after that.
Oh, look at you high rolling with tickets.
Something like that. I don't have those yet. I should probably try to get them. We're planning on going to the SDFC game. I just keep imagining someone's gonna walk through the door and hand me tickets.
I'm excited for Happy Gilmore. I wonder how they're gonna. I purposely haven't gotten too in the weeds of what the story's gonna be because I kind of wanted to be surprised.
I'm nervous about all the celebrity cameos. It feels like they're trying to pack too much in.
I agree with that.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are in this movie. We don't need them.
What's wrong with Tay and Kelsey?
That is your Chiefs.
They're
you were all on board until I mentioned one Kansas City Chief and one Kansas City Chiefs girlfriend.
No. Happy Gilmore, real quick. Happy Gilmore, I'm excited for it. Sandler's going to do it right. They didn't wait all these years to screw this up. Netflix can do it right. But yes, sometimes these movies can go a little too heavy with the cameos. Like Bad Bunny's a caddy. Like what?
It's a little weird. I'm glad that Kevin Nealon's back in it. That's good.
Julie Bowen's back.
Don't have
Tay and Travis, though. Travis is going to become an Oscar-winning actor.
No, he's not. All right, we're out of here. John and Jim are coming up next. That is the most insane thing that's ever been heard on these airwaves. It's San Diego Sports 760. We'll be back with you tomorrow.